Today we're driving the 2023 Kia Soul GT line. Starting price on this is just over $24,000. It has 147 horsepower out of a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder that's connected to a continuously variable transmission. We have some really nice features, a great package, and a pretty nice looking interior and exterior for the price in this Kia Soul. Let's start it up, we'll walk you around it, and we'll show you what it's like to drive today. So this has gone through a mild facelift for the 2023 model year. New front bumper, headlights, rear fascia. I think it looks pretty good. Still the same overall basic design and shape as it's always had. Kind of a taller hatchback. Good interior room. I love these new taillights. You've got the center exit exhaust here, which is kind of surprisingly throaty at idle. Nice big hatch, a lot of vertical space, and you do get a compact spare tire back there, which is very nice. Little cargo cover here too, and of course these seats fold down, giving you a lot of space. Got a decent amount of legroom, lots of headroom, super easy ingress and egress into the back of this Kia Soul. I'm 5'10", seated behind myself. I can really stretch out here. This is great. 2 USB-C ports in the back. We've got an armrest. Materials, finishes, appointments in here look pretty good for a $24,000 car. Nice touchscreen. We've got mostly a digital gauge cluster with our tachometer and speedometer being complete digital readouts. Yeah, looks sharp. Pretty fuel efficient too, rated for 28 miles to the gallon in the city, 33 on the highway. And I've got to say, I do like the design of this new front end. Very modern. Let's pop the hood real quick, take a look at this 2-liter inline 4-cylinder. Gone is the 1.6 turbo, so we are only left with this 2-liter. That said, it gets the job done. It's powerful enough, not too loud, and it's pretty fuel efficient. This is averaged around 32 miles to the gallon in some mixed driving for me this week. All right, let's show you around the interior here real quick, and then we will take this for a drive. Here's what the key looks like. Classic detonator button that we kind of saw first with the Kia Stinger. Really nice intuitive layout here, lots of physical buttons and controls. Good looking reverse camera, nice and high res. Got your parking brake right here, a couple of cup holders, good amount of space in the center console, and a pretty large glove box too. Auto climate control, wired CarPlay and Android Auto. We do get a wireless phone charger there, and lots of nice places to put stuff. This has heated seats. You can select between normal and sport drive modes, and the gauges change between kind of that pinkish purple and white purple. Here's our sunroof. Got a place to put our sunglasses up here. These visors slide, offering quite a bit of blockage. Lots of adjustability with this tilting and telescoping steering wheel. These seats are comfortable. Lots of room in this cabin. I mean, for the price, this is pretty good value here in terms of packaging, space, efficiency. Let's go see how it drives and see what it's like on the road. Parking brake automatically disables when you put it into drive. Look at this flat bottom steering wheel. That's kind of sporty. I like the leather. I like the touch points. Kia has done such a good job with that in recent years. From the way their turn signal stalks feel to the shifter down here, it almost feels Audi-esque back when Audi used to actually give you shifters instead of little beard trimmers or micro shifters. Really nice visibility in this Kia Soul. I mean, honestly, there's a few extra niceties and appointments, and you've got this new infotainment screen here, but this is pretty much the same car that it's been in the last, I don't know, over a decade. one of the first press cars I ever drove was a Kia Soul White Tiger Edition, and tiger stripes on the side. And yes, it's been refined and improved over the years. We have better NVH, slightly better handling, and a much nicer interior. But you can still see where this is a budget option. You've got lots of plastics throughout, even though you do get some nice kind of leatherette on the dashboard here. There are definitely some cheaper materials in here, but it looks pretty good. It smells nice. Not too sure about some of the contrasting colors here between the red on the doors and the purple on the gauges and infotainment. The CVT is nice and smooth, and it will simulate gear shifts. Shall we go into sport mode? Like I said earlier, it's quick enough. No complaints there. It's not trying to be a sports car or a hot hatch. It just gets the job done. I believe curb weight on this is around 2,800 pounds, maybe a little bit over. 2,840, 2,850. So pretty lightweight, honestly, for its size. Ride is nicely damped, nicely controlled, not stiff, not floaty, just a nice in-between. And reasonably quiet on the highway too. We get adaptive cruise control, highway driving assist with lane centering. Pretty nice system. It does tend to kind of wander and jerk back and forth a little bit depending on the surface you're on, but for the most part, it's a really nice system. Boggles my mind that we've driven some $100,000 plus cars recently that don't have these basic features. You have to option them, and here we get it in a $24,000 Kia Soul. You gotta love it. I like the button layouts here on the steering wheel. Once you get accustomed to them, everything is laid out nicely and distinguished from each other, so you know what you're pressing, what you're getting into. That's great. You can easily turn on and off settings very quickly. Lane keep assist is telling me that I'm in the center of the road there. You can turn off automatic stop start. You've got a button there for your gauge cluster illumination, and you can turn on your parking camera, which in this car is just a reverse camera with a button. There you go. We get a rear wiper too. Stop start brings that engine up to 1,000 RPM very quickly. Getting a little bit greasy out, so we're not going to test handling too much, but it feels flat around corners. There's even a little bit of steering feel there. You can feel the shorter wheelbase. I think this would be a fun car to hustle around. And I've got to say, Kia is doing a nice job with their CVTs these days. I do not miss a traditional torque converter automatic in this car. This is really smooth. It has good punch off the line. They've pretty much gotten rid of a lot of the cons that used to be kind of deal breakers with continuously variable transmissions. I guess the only unknown is just long-term reliability. Be sure you service your transmissions every 40, 50,000 miles. And you also do get the 10-year, 100,000 mile warranty that comes with every Kia in this Soul. So no issues there. Sound system is decent, kind of what you'd expect for this price, maybe a little bit better than some of the competitors for their base audio systems. We've done sound system tests in the past with Kia Souls, and this is really no different. One thing they used to have that I haven't seen recently is they used to have a party mode that would flash the ambient lighting according to the beat. And maybe that's hidden in the infotainment now? Not sure. I get a slightly higher driving position in this Kia Soul. It almost feels crossover SUV-esque, which I'm sure a lot of buyers will appreciate. I would classify it as just a taller hatchback, but I'm sure Kia would want you to call it a CUV. Honestly, no major complaints with this thing. It drives very well for the price. There's not a whole lot to complain about, if I'm being honest. This GT line seems like pretty good value too. You get some nice features, you get the larger infotainment screen, you get heated seats. It's something that looks a little bit different, feels a little bit fun and special. It's kind of got a sense of humor. And of course, the hamster advertising campaign has always been pretty endearing. But there are just not a lot of options at this price point anymore. Cars have just gotten so expensive, it's refreshing to get back into something like this that punches a little bit above its weight and is still pretty darn good to drive. I am pleasantly surprised at how refined and quiet this 2-liter engine is. You barely hear it, especially today over the rain, but it's pretty in the background. It's not whirring away like you would expect it to with a CVT. Got kind of a rougher road up here. Let's see what impact noise is like. Ride quality is excellent here. No complaints there. NVH is pretty good. Not a lot of intrusion into the cabin. Yeah, this feels pretty good to me. Not a lot of noise from these tires either. Some bigger potholes there. Kia really used to struggle with kind of shock tuning and bump stop NVH, and they've really improved that in recent years. They used to hit some larger bumps in their cars and just get a ton of intrusion in the cabin. That's no longer the case. This feels pretty nice. One interesting note, listen how quiet the starter is in this car when you let off the brake and stop-start is engaged. It's almost silent. Pretty impressive. Simulating some super close gear ratios there. It actually has pretty decent acceleration for only 147 horsepower. This is faster than I thought it would be. There might even be a hint of torque steer on this rainy day. It is kind of a fun little car to wheel around, toss around town. It feels light on its feet. Do a quick acceleration here. Not too shabby. I think that's pretty much all I have to say about the Kia Soul. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments. But that'll be it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the rain and binaural audio today if you're wearing headphones. How's our turning radius? Cool. We'll end things here. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.